Okay, so let's move to expenses. People are the driver, right? But departments, schools are also organized in Byzantine ways. Some departments are big, some are not. Everyone talks about spans and layers in higher ed as driving administrative costs. Can you explain and help us understand what really drives expenditures under that broad category of people, of personnel today?
Sure. It's always interesting to me that people are 60+% of spending at institutions, maybe 70%, but it is where the money goes. And yet, we don't have a very good idea at our institutions of how those people spend their time, or even, Jeff, the broad buckets of activity that they're pursuing. So, yeah, let's make up an example here. I have a full-time faculty member in the biology department. They could be teaching undergraduate biology, and then they could be teaching graduate biology, and then they could be teaching courses that support nursing. Very few institutions understand how much of that faculty member's time and compensation goes into the undergraduate biology bucket, how much goes into the graduate biology bucket, how much goes into the nursing bucket. And if you don't know that, then you don't know how much each of those programs cost and whether the programs are covering their costs or not. So it's a huge issue that we have where, for the majority of our spending, we don't know where the spending's happening and we don't know what we get for the spending. And therefore, we can't talk about return on investment.
Right. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. So it's not just as easy as consolidating departments, right? Or cutting spans and layers. Does that get you that much?
So it helps. There's no question that when we look at reporting lines and you see management level positions, whether in the academic or administrative side, and nobody's reporting to them, it sort of begs the question around, do we need to make that investment there and at that level? If we can consolidate departments, it does mean some savings in terms of overhead or what it takes to manage that, all to the good. However, in terms of really solving cost problems in higher ed, that's just not going to get us there. The bigger issue is what's happening down at a lower level in terms of what are we offering? Does it connect with market demand? What's the revenue being generated? How do we streamline academic administrative portfolios so that, in essence, we right size institutions to better reflect both the number of students coming to us, but also what they're asking for? That's really the hard work to be